Hey guys, this is Musings of Maverick. I'm Maverick, and now we're going to be watching Goblin Slayer episode 6. So this is a direct back-to-back viewing. I just finished episode 5, and we left on a sort of a cliffhanger where it seems that our Goblin Slayer got a request from the Sword Maiden. At least I'm assuming that's the Sword Maiden. So anyways, I want to see what happens next. We're going right into it. So yeah, we're starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Mm-hmm. A skeleton king? A lich king? Maybe? Oh, who are you guys? Or sex? Why does that seem like a bad parody? Oh. I figured as such. So they're all here? Wait, I still don't understand. Why are you free here? Straight to the point, huh? Alright, I'll see you guys right after the opening. One bag of gold each. Well, yeah, I agree. Although, again, I think that, they might have skipped a lot of things. But again, I'm still not sure. Why are these three still here? Oh, really? He agreed? Why not? But why not? And you two are on the same side now? I feel like, there's a saying where, uh, you skipped a season. That's what I'm feeling right now. I feel like I skipped a season. Oh, okay, so, the God of Justice. So this actually does relate to last episode. cowgirl? The Temple of Law. Right. Archbishop of the Supreme God. But, yeah, the Sword Maiden. But again, I'm still not sure, like, what's the difference between the Supreme God and the God of Law? I just keep thinking about 2B. Yeah. No, it's probably... never mind, never mind. They're just sitting like that? And this Sword Maiden is a lot different than what I thought she would be. That's why I actually thought he was a goblin at first. You know, what kind of plot twist would that be? Yeah, so that's how you get through to him. You're smart. But why though? But she's the sword maid. Okay. Well, that does make sense, though. No matter how big of a nuisance goblins are, they're still just nuisances. Not exactly, something that the military should be called in for, if they actually have something else to do. There's some deeper conspiracy here, isn't there? Yeah. Lots of warning flags are going off right now. Lots of warning bells. Like, why would this... Isn't the Sword Maiden supposed to be some super hot shot as well? Oh, okay. Are they underneath the lake? What? But even so, how can it rain? Is it friend or foe? Okay, what? What? tear gas? Ooh. Okay. But I'm not quite sure why he counts, because if you don't even know the total number... Couldn't you just have done that, like, from the beginning? They didn't have any reason to get on a boat if you can just blow up the boat. Oh. What? An alligator or something? A swamp dragon. No. She's shy. I still don't get it. Why no poisoning or burning? Like, what are they worried about? Conceal? But if this thing was, this alligator was down here for all that time, why would they use boats then? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's illogical. They just recently? Hmm. And again with the dice. Alright, I'm gonna go check if there's anything after the ending, and if not, we'll go right into my thoughts and review. So, I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay guys, so that was episode 6 of Goblin Slayer. So it seems that with a sort of a filler episode in episode 5, in this episode we get right into the action and drove the story onwards. So we start off with, like I mentioned, I feel like maybe because it's an anime, it took the liberties of skipping a few stories or chapters of the original light novel. I say that because it seems that the other three, the elf, the dwarf, and the lizard man, they just, kind of sort of became Goblin Slayer's friend and, companion, even though they only really went together on one mission, and we still don't know why they're still staying here with him. And even, they even mention Goblin Slayer getting a little bit softer and willing to listen to others more. He starts to discuss with them, and he also agrees to their idea of not using poison, fire, and whatnot. Even though I still don't understand why have that restriction, right? Like, are they afraid of bystander casualties? But that still doesn't really make collateral damage. That doesn't really make sense, especially if you're already fighting within the battlefield. Like, just fire. I don't get it. I still don't understand why they want to discourage Goblin Slayer from using those methods. So yeah, and then so immediately after that, oh, and also I liked how the priestess and the elf, the archer, they all get excited when they finally beat some sense or get some idea through to Goblin Slayer. I find that interaction to be, very cute and funny. Okay, so it carries on from the last episode where Goblin Slayer received a request from a faraway city, and that person is uh working under the God of Justice or the Temple of Justice or something. And as it turns out, it is actually the Sword Maiden. So I'm still not quite clear on what the relationship between the Supreme God versus the God of Justice versus the Temple of Justice versus the Sword Maiden is. Like it's in the last episode, I had the theory that the God of Justice was one below the Supreme God, but now it seems like it doesn't work that way. So I don't know. But in any case, so it actually was the Sword Maiden who, like I said, really, I think of 2B, but it's obviously that's not fair, right? There should be some others that uh, have a similar style, but because it's more recent, so I automatically think that. Um, and she had a way different sound than what I would have thought she had. So very soft sounding. I thought she would be like one of those uh, very strict, very strict, justice and morality above all. Very hard boiled. Do we say hard boiled? Very stubborn, and unwilling to bend the rules. That kind of straight person. But it seems like she's, quite a softer character than one would initially think. So she gave the quest and explained the situation to our party. I feel like she's hiding something because if you recall, during when she was explaining the situation, she got kind of lost in thought, right? So I think maybe she's hiding something. But what it is, we don't know. It doesn't seem like she is the one responsible for doing this, so it's not like a sense of, oh, the person who gave you the quest or the person who looks like as if he's being the biggest benefactor is actually the mastermind behind the whole thing. It doesn't seem like she is, but she's definitely hiding or has doubts about something, right? And so then we get into the actual goblin slaying. Like I said, I feel like we skipped through some bonding and team building because otherwise they're operating off of each other very well and whatnot. Um, so the so we do get the confirmation that the dwarf specializes in stone magic, right? So he had those little, dozens of small stones to throw out, and now he can summon like a huge stone and drop it on the ship. Speaking of which, if he could have done that in the first place, why have the Goblin Slayer and the Lizard Man go into melee combat? Like, does he need time to cast his spell? But then it looked like he cast it nearly instantly, so I don't know. But I just felt that was a little bit, why do that? And so then we get the alligator scene, and then Goblin Slayer shows his brilliance again by thinking outside the box and using the alligator as bait to lure the goblins in, so let them fight each other. But like I said when in the episode, I thought that it was strange that the goblins would choose to ride in boats when there's an alligator in the sewer. And so Goblin Slayer also voiced the same thing. Like, they wouldn't have done that if they knew there was an alligator there. And if they dwelled there long enough, they would know that there's an alligator there. So he deducted that there's somebody else behind that's, allowing these goblins to be here. And, we get like a foreshadowing of some big ogre-like creature, or maybe a goblin lord or something, who's, behind this whole situation. Which ties back into like one of my original theories, and that is, the demon lord rising up again and creating an army will eventually force the Goblin Slayer to clash with him as well. So, like, even though the Goblin Slayer doesn't want to have to do anything else besides slay goblins, because goblins are part of the demon lord's army, eventually they're going to have to clash anyways. If Goblin Slayer's his intention is not just to protect a single village or a single town. He wants to slay all the goblins. So that would include those under direct command of the Demon Lord. So probably in the next episode, we'll get a little bit more, towards that. Maybe they will resolve this town of its goblin situation, and then it turns out that he was sent here by the Demon Lord, and then, everything ties together. The countries and the armies, the adventurers fighting the Demon Lord, as well as the Goblin Slayer. So that's what I feel is how this story is going to progress. Yeah, and I think that about covers it, and yeah. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to do the next two as well, just to let me catch up, so it'll be a back-to-back-to-back-to-back viewing. Anyways, those were my thoughts. Let me know if you have anything to add or think I spoke anything wrong. If not, I'll continue on to the next episode and hopefully catch up to the series as it is right now. So stay tuned, and bye-bye.